hope you're keeping well. I'm going to do a long graduation cut today for you, and I want you to practice this at home and send me some pictures in of what you've done, send me photos. Any questions, just let me know. First of all, you're going to section it into 5. So you've got your top box down to the ear, and then at the back you've got your middle parting. That's your standard sectioning now for all the cuts apart from your one length and your inverted bob. Okay, so I'm going to start on the top box. So I've had a chat with my client to see what length she wants it on the top. Keep the hair really wet so that you can work with it really well and keep a nice even tension. All right, so I had a chat with her and she wants that much taken off the top. So then I know it's going to be a long graduation because it's longer than that at the back. All right, so I'm going to start here. Nice fine section, the width and the length of my finger, and I'm going to comb that hair straight up at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to get rid of all that wispiness, okay? So again, make sure you're homing your comb and scissors correctly. Keep that like that. I'm now going to split this section along lengthways in half. Keep that down, keep a little bit of it. Another section behind it, and then I'm going to bring that straight up at a 90-degree angle. Can you see my guideline there? That's my guideline. Comb and follow it. Split it again. Take another piece behind. Lift it up. Nice and smooth. You see your long ends? If you can't see them, take a finer section, it's there. All right, cut that. And all the time, you're bringing the hair straight up at a 90-degree angle to the head. What I want you to avoid doing is pulling it towards yourself or away for yourself at any stage. Don't have too much hair in your hands at any stage or it can't come straight up at the 90-degree angle. So if you ended up taking this amount of hair towards this amount of hair, you can't help but slightly go longer than that is because you've taken it further, so you've over directed it. So instead, straight up where it lives, following your previous guideline every time. Okay, I want you to work your way to the crown doing that, and then you can cross check it and I'll show you how to do that when I've finished. So have a go at that bit. Okay, so I've got to the crown. I'm now going to cross-check my cut. So take a vertical section, bring the hair straight up and make sure I'm accurate. Sometimes that little bit, take that off in a little bit, all right? That's fine. If you find you have gone longer here, you will have to go back to where you started to go longer and bring it straight up where the hair comes from at a 90-degree angle. Don't just cut it off because it'll be all the way through. So go back to where your problem was. Okay, so we're going to keep a tiny bit of that as our guideline, and then we're going to start through the back. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do it at the back, so you can have a go at both, or if you're confident at one, stick to the one that you can do, or push yourself and have a go at another one. So I've got that there as my guideline. What I'm going to do now is take horizontal sections, following the shape of the head, bring that hair up to my guideline there. That's my guideline. I'm going to keep it there and take that off. So it's nice and blunt now, them ends. If your client wanted it quite short on the top, but want to really retain the length, what you would do is over direct it, so you would really bring that hair across there so you could maintain the length. But this client wants to get rid of all those fine wispy ends, so we're just going straight up to the top of the head. All right, following that guideline. You're going to now work your way, keeping this in your hand, nice straight sections. Keep the hair really wet so you can work with it in a nice even tension. Comb it away from you. Lovely, beautiful, clear guideline for you there. Up. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to continue to the nape doing that cut. Okay? If you don't want to do that, I'm going to show you in a minute the other section side, but I want you to have a go at that first if you do. All right? Get practicing. Okay, so I've worked my way down to the nape, bringing all the hair up here to achieve an accurate cut. To cross-check this cut, I'm going to go vertical because I cut it horizontal. So I go all the way down, bring the hair up to the top of the head to check that it's accurate. Remember, you might have some loose bits that'll just come away. Check that's accurate. And again, bring the hair up. And you're just cross-checking across your lines to make sure you've got a nice, accurate cut. If they're not attached, they're loose then. Okay. So that's a long graduation. Can you see? It's gradually got longer. You've layered it. If you've got somebody at home who's got a one length cut and it's quite long, you could do this for them, but keep it a lot longer so they'd end up with just a few layers at the bottom. Don't try to make it too short in the layers for them, and you can just get a bit more body into it, just so that you can practice the actual angle. If you chose to do that way, and you want to do the other side the same, that's fine. If you don't, you can do it vertical. Eventually, I would like you all to be able to cut vertical, because when we go through the other cuts, a lot of layering is vertical cutting. So I'm going to get that out of the way now. And again, as you get further on, you won't put these clips back in as much. You'll just work a lot less with that clips. But for now, while you're learning and just getting used to it, keep the hair out of the way. Remember what I said about keeping the hair wet? Use my trusty little water spray. It's not ideal, but it does the job. So that's all that matters. All right, so I'm going to now take a piece again from the top to show you a different way of doing the same cut. So I've got the piece at the top here. You see my guideline there. I'm going to bring the hair up all the way. There's my guideline. And I'm going to cut right straight across. I'm going to keep this in my hand, but I'm going to let go of that. And then I'm going to work a little bit further down, doing the same, keeping the hair really wet, bringing it all the way up here, and just cutting, following my guideline here, straight across. Look at the length now, like I showed you with the other. It's shorter there, gradually getting longer. Split it again, take another piece, and again, follow it all the way up. You're going to run out of hair. There might be only a little wisp that you're taking off, because that's your gradual length there. From here now, I'm going to carry on with little orange segments all the way to the side here, just following my guideline each time, keeping the other hair really out of the way so it doesn't confuse me. All right, what I want you to do now, you see my guideline? I want you to get practicing this. Hi all, hope you're all keeping well. I thought I'd do you a recap for those who've already done a one length cut. For those who haven't, I thought I could guide you through. You can do step by step to see how you go. What I want you to remember, first of all, is to check when you're doing your consultation about the hair growth patterns, everything about the hair that we've talked about prior, to make sure you can get the right result. If you've got someone at home that you could do this cut at, that'd be really good for you to practice. Just take a little bit off. You can always go and take some more off another time. All right, so what you're going to do, you're going to section the hair into 4, right, with the middle parting straight down to the nape, and then ear to ear across the top of the head. All right, you do need to have some water. I've lost my water spray, but I've got a little old cup here that I've just filled with water. Keep dipping in to keep that hair wet. So keep it wet at all times. Right, this is the only cut that you can sit down for. So make sure when you start, you've got your posture correctly, keep your back straight and your feet on the ground, hip width apart. Okay, so we're going to start. I'll show you from here so that you can see what I'm doing. You're going to start in the middle using the fine teeth. And I want you, if you've not cut it at all, I want you to just practice this. Get your third finger in there, rest your baby finger there, and then use your 2 here. You will cut keeping that really tight, using your thumb to move the blades. Okay, when you are combing the hair, you will take your thumb out, hold that, and then you can comb. And you will comb down the hair. Keep zero projection, so really close to your client. And that goes in there. And then you cut, just using your thumb to move the blades. Take it out, hug, and then onto your next piece. All right, we're just doing one length horizontal cut to take them edges off. Close to her to avoid any graduation. And again, combing it down, keep a nice even tension, keeping it close to it as you can. One length, cut. You might swivel your scissors that way, that's up to you, in long as you're palming them in your hands so you can avoid cutting anybody or cutting into the hair. So we've done my first section, and I'm just going to check that I'm even at each side. Check balance, pull the hair down, make sure you've got an accurate cut, because that's going to be your guideline throughout the cut. I'm now going to take a next piece, just the thickness of your finger. Get that hair out the way. Work really neatly and methodically. The one thing you've got, guys, is time, so take your time to do it. All right, it's better that you get this accurate now, and you can improve on speed later. Get that hair up out of the way, clip out of the way, and then you're going to comb it down. I've dipped my comb in there again just to wet the hair down and keep it nice and easy for me to work with. Comb, keeping zero projection. My guideline's under there. I don't want to take a lot off, and I'm just follow my guideline. I'm going to continue doing this up until I get to the top of the ears, and then I'll show you the next stage. So get practicing this bit. Okay, so you've got up to the ears. What I've done now is taken a horizontal section and brought this into 2 sections instead of the 4. I started in the middle, combing the hair down, keeping zero projection, and I followed my guideline out to the sides. I'm just going to show you at this side now. I'm going to do exactly the same, bringing the hair straight down. You see my guideline under there. If you can't see your guideline, take a finer section. This goes in there, using my thumb, cut, cut, cut. Doesn't matter if it's a tiny amount. It's better really, because you can have another practice in a couple of weeks. Keep it close, and again, keep that. And then you'll be able to move around her. She wants to be sat straight for you. Bring it down. And then just check at your points to make sure you're accurate before you carry on with that, okay? Just take a few points to make sure, bring it close to a point. That's brilliant. So I want you to carry on all the way up to the top, doing the same. I'll just show you on the next layer, and then you can carry on. So nice, fine section, don't take it too thick. And then go around. Make sure you're palming them scissors so that you're not cutting the hair at all. And I've not put my comb or scissors down at all since I've started doing this cut. So this is what I want you to really get into the habit of. You're avoiding any contamination because I've got them in my hand the whole time. You're going to be a lot quicker when it comes to it. And now at the minute, while we haven't got a trolley next to us, you're not reaching across, picking things up, dropping them. You've got them all in your hands, as you should. So back down, and I'm going to follow the same line. You might run out of hair, this might not be long enough. Don't worry about it, that's fine. I'd like you to get practicing that. Okay, so I've finished all the cut. I'm going to check it myself, run my fingers down. If you've got a mirror in front of you, it helps as well, because you can look in the mirror as you're doing it. All right, and check at each point that you're even. If you've got a client, you can check it at a certain point on their body. Right, bring it down, keep that close to them just to check it. If you find you're slightly longer at one side, don't just go and take that bit, go back and see where you might have started changing your angle a little bit, all right, and just correct going that way. You might have run out of hair because some of these layers might not have made it to the bottom. Hers is slightly, but we're going to do a long graduation cut on her later. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. Section it off the exact same way, horizontal, but use one section at the back to blow dry her. So give her a nice good blow dry. Send me pictures of the work that you've done, and if you've got any questions, email me or message me. If there's something you particularly want to see me demonstrate, let me know that too. Okay? All right, take care all of you and stay safe. Bye. So I'm on my last piece now, taking it up there, and I've cut that little bit there. When we've finished, let all the hair down, and then because I cut this vertically, I'm going to cross check it horizontally to make sure it's correct. Okay, so can you see that's the same cut? And what I want to make sure is where we did that middle parting, that I'm accurate between the two as well. All right, you will have some hairs that drop out. Everybody has that every day. So there will be some loose hairs, so just make sure they aren't attached and pull them off if not. All right, just see how that's falling now. That's a lot better. She's got some more body in the hair. Should be nice for you to blow dry off set. She's got a nice blunt end for when we're going to do some other things later on. Right, so we're onto the side now. We're here at the side, so if you want to get the other hair out of the way, just take a little bit from the back as a bit of a guideline. Okay. And then now I'm going to take a little bit from the top. So I've got this shape here as my guideline. Back that hair back up, out the way so it's not going to interfere with you. My trusty little water spray comes out again to keep that hair really wet for me so that I can work really well. Right, what I want you to bear in mind when we come to the sides, a lot of clients' hair is really fine here at the sides. They've also got all that missing that the back grows from, but it doesn't here. So look, before you start cutting, don't just willy-nilly cut. Always think, where am I going to? What will this achieve? So as I take a nice horizontal section there, I've got my guideline from my top and my back, and I'm bringing it right up here, and there's my guideline beautifully. If I think about it now, I want to check how much would that take off my sides. I'm happy with that. If the sides were fine, or you're going to take a lot of length off, again, over direct it so that we can maintain the length there at the sides. So always think where you're going from A to B. Always bear that in mind. Every client's different, every hair's different, so you need to know. So up I go, got my nice guideline there, and I trim that off. I'm going to keep this in my hand, take another piece, bring it up to the top of the head, just like I did earlier. My lovely guidelines there, clear for me to see, and across I go. And I'm just going to work my way now to the ears, bringing the hair up to the top, and you'll notice as I go further down it's taking less off because that hair's had to travel up there. So I'm pretty happy that I'm not going to lose all my client's length at the sides. Keep it, get rid of that, get a little bit more. I'm always palming my scissors. You see it's getting less and less that I'm taking off. But she's got a nice blunt end for me to work with from now on. Up again. And just to cross check that, I will go vertical, bring that up, beautiful. I want you to do the same at the other side, so get practicing that. So I've finished throughout the whole of the cut now, and I've cross-checked lifted it all up, and I've got my nice graduation. After that, I comb the hair all down, and I just check the perimeter to make sure I've got a nice neat end. At the sides here, I'd have a discussion with my client. See, we've got a bit of a step there, naturally with the way the hair, so I might just decide that we're going to take a little bit of shape there. So make sure you get any hair that's from the back out of the way. So that's combed out of the way, and because the hair is really wet, I'm not having to put clips in it as much. So as you progress, keep the hair wet, and you won't always be wasting time putting clips in. But while you're learning, and if you struggle to keep it out of the way, by all means use a lot of clips. Wetting the hair down again, and now I'm going to have a go using the razor. So you've all got one of these, hopefully. She doesn't want much off there, but she wants just this little corner taking off. So I'm going to comb the hair down, and then I'm just going to lay the razor against the hair and just snip into it. All right, so I'm just taking that and then carrying on down. This is the corner I want rid of. I don't want to lose my length. I'm just taking that all through so I can take that little edge off. You can do it with scissors, but you might as well use your razor and have a go with that as well. And then I'll do the same at the other side. Just got a side parting in. Get that hair out of the way so it's not in my way, and I'm not going to risk cutting any of the back. There's B, A's up here. So I'm going from A, just out there, take it a little bit down to B, just to soften that square bit that's on there. You might not want to, my client might want it. So again, it's a discussion. Okay, so if you've done that, that's great. Check your cut, that's brilliant. If you've got it all accurate, if you have any problems, I'd like you to email me what the problem was so we can talk about it or show me pictures. If you've managed that and you think I can do that quite easily, what I'd like you to start having a go is when you're doing that cut then, instead of club cutting, what we've done through this cut, have a go at point cutting the cut. So you'll be just snipping into all of the cut to just soften them ends. Think about what type of hair that'd work well with. All right, so would it be better on fine hair or coarse hair? Just to soften that bluntness. You also might have a client who you found out you've done this lovely layer, but it still feels a bit bulky here. You might decide to bring that up and just slice into it a little bit, just to soften that end and take a little bit of bulk out. It's about personalising your cut a little bit more. That's just taking it that step further, and that's the difference in where the client might ask for you versus someone else. Just lays better when you've done their hair. So just get a feel for the hair. Don't do it if you don't think it's necessary, but just where you want to have a go, okay? And have a practice with that. So get practicing that if you feel confident when you've done this. That's the long graduation cut done, guys. So what I want you to do is do the cut, do me a nice blow dry, send me a picture. Next cut we're going to go on to will be the uniform layer, and I've kept this quite long, so I'm going to make the cut like that, and then we can eventually do an inverted bob. All right, so that'd be good practice for you. Stay safe, all of you. Hope you managed to get out and get some exercise, and just take care. See you soon. Bye.